music, it's so personal to me in a weird way. Sometimes you can't even explain it to people. I have something that makes me happy in a weird way.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl Symone Titania Major, and I'm so happy that you can join us again for the NDC.
So yeah, it's all
Today's artist, his name is WAN, and I'm so happy that he's here with us today. WAN, how you doing?
I'm perfect right now. I'm literally perfect. I usually rate my days, but today 10 so far.
When did you fall in love with music?
I fell in love with music in 2008.
What happened in 2008?
I rode Private Bus, and she played a lot of music on the radio. For some reason, she played music on the radio, and I promised myself, I was like, music, it's so personal to me in a weird way. Sometimes you can't even explain it to people. I'm just like, I have something that makes me happy in a weird way. You know, sometimes you can play a sport and be like, oh yeah, this is great, but like something like that, like, you know, it's like a keychain that you just hold in to like unlock doors. That's how I feel. It unlocks a lot of opportunities.
What kind of opportunities would you say that it has opened for you so far?
For me, it's been staying away from trouble, and I feel like that's an opportunity and a door to walk through, because where I lived, it was really bad, but you knew how to avoid certain things, and I feel like sports and music were the top two for at least me, what I saw. So if I saw a musician on the street, I'm like, you're doing it right, because there's so much stuff around us that's going on.
So many other things you could choose,
So many doors you can go through, and I'm like, well, I like to do the music door, so
absolutely,
that's what I did.
I can definitely connect with that, you know, because my high school years and up, I grew up in Goulds, which is down south.
That's around my neighborhood too, yeah.
South Miami? South Miami, so we're neighbors.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
we understand that, you know, and so for us, like, we're a rare breed.
Yeah.
Not to say that no one else is creative there, but we had to find other outlets, and for me, it was always art.
I went to Southridge in high school, and that school is it's great because it was a sports school, so it was a lot of energy, which is great because so much personalities going out. And the music for me, like the band teacher that was there, Mr. G, he was super nice, and he is one of my favorite people I've ever met in my whole life. Mr. G.
Shout out Mr. G.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. G, yeah.
When I listen to your music, right, I get like an 80s, Japanese, funk, soul, pop type of dance vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering where you gather that inspiration. Like, where does your sound come from? How did you cultivate that?
That is an amazing question. So my dad was a break dancer, so I would listen to a lot of like early 90s house music, like Detroit house, and I would listen to a lot of Key Sweat. Like, dude, Key Sweat, like my dad will play it all the time, and Scarface, and all these R&B bands. I would listen to a lot of smooth like chords and intimate chords, and it was super, super nice. So that was just in my head looping all the time. And I can't forget the early 2000s, the instrumentals like Timberland and Neptunes. Their instrumentals, they changed the game. So I noticed all that. I'm so picky when it comes to stuff like that. So I realized that at an early age that I liked the space sound because I was so into the Neptunes and stuff like that in the early,
Neptunes.
And I loved dance music because my dad literally was just
Your dad was a break dancer.
He was a break dancer, yeah. He has a lot of like cassettes.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff for like mixes. So it'll go like dance to like hip hop, and then it'll go to like salsa, because my parents are Cuban, so it's like a lot of upbeat stuff.
A lot of upbeat. When I listen to your music, I'm trying to figure out like how you decide when your mix is done, because there are so many different sounds, synth sounds. Like, what is that process for you when you're mixing, when you're creating, performing that? When are you like, okay, this song is done?
That takes like for me, it takes like maybe like 4 or 5 days to finally give up and like, all right, this is. If I put too much for one song, it'll take like 4 or 5 days. Yeah, I would listen to it over and over, and the synths, I can make synths like really fast because I build them from scratch, and it'll probably take like 2 to 3 hours, and then I'll just keep layering, and then I'll start taking things out. That's what I do. I'll stack up a bunch of stuff, and then I'll start taking things out, and then I'll do vocals after, and I'll do vocals the next 4 hours. So it'll be like 8 hours to 10 hours of creating a song, and then mixing would be the next day, because I'm like, I can't do both at the same time. I wish, but The next day is like fresh ears. You woke up, and then I'll start from there. It would be like 4 or 5 hours, and then that'll be like every day for 4 or 5 days. Like I don't talk to anybody. Like I'm just like, all right, I gotta finish the song.
Talk to anyone.
Yeah, everybody's texting me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't right now, mixing, and that's it. Period. And I'll just like, yeah, I can't.
But with Sugar Milk, your album that came out a while ago.
Yeah.
How long was that process then?
That process is from 2015 to 2018. It took a really long time.
That album is incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, from beginning to end, it's a whole story.
I wanted to make a concept album. I wanted to make something about like a person, any person that's so happy that to like the first part of the album is really happy, and then the second part of the album is kind of like sad and like chill, because I wanted to have like a peak, like every album should have. So I wanted to have that small idea, and I was obsessed with having an idea of a concept album, because like it's easier to create something. I wrote all the lyrics down before I had the idea in my head in a journal, and I was like, let me just do it. So the first song that I wrote was actually called Milk. That's the first song I wrote, and has a guitar solo, all that stuff, played with my friend David, and from there on I'm like, this is the idea of the album, which is this song, and then I wrapped around everything out of that. And it was different for me because that's not what I was hearing outside of my bubble at the time. So imagine you make something and you don't tell anybody about it for like 3 years, and everybody else is like listening to like whatever, every other genre, but you have your own thing, and it's like, it's special, but it's difficult at the same time. So you're like, I'm making a story, I can't tell anybody. It's like a secret. So until you,
secret.
Now,
with that being said, when you put your music out, like, do you wonder how people are going to receive it, or are you just like, I'm going to put it out and it doesn't matter how people are going to receive it?
A little bit of both. Maybe for this project, Sugar Milk, that happened in the past, I was really scared about how it was going to be perceived by people, because it was so left field. That album really makes you think about your childhood. To me, at least, that's a very childhood. That's what I wanted everybody to think of, like, because when you have a childhood, you always think of the happy times more than the sad times sometimes. So I think that when it comes to stuff like that, I wanted the person to feel young in any weird way. I wanted him to feel like, wow, this is something I don't usually listen to, because how often do we think about our past, and it makes me feel like a kid again, listening to it all the time. It's like, wow, that makes me think of like me when I was like 11 or 12 and going to dance. To me, that was like the most important thing, like asking a girl to prom and doing all that stuff. I feel like that was
the big thing,
right?
Those are the big things.
But that's important, because I feel like the smallest things to us as a child was like the biggest.
It was the biggest thing, and that's beautiful. Those are like
I feel like that's beautiful. That's what I wanted the music to feel like. The smallest things are like the ones that you remember the most. So
that is an album that I really do feel like a sense of nostalgia, and I play it on repeat.
That's good.
And so we're living in the world of streaming. How does that play out for you? Because streaming is a big thing for music artists, and your music is very easy to play on repeat. I wanted it to flow with whatever you listened to before. So I wanted it to, when the song would come in and you're like, wow, this is very smooth. I wanted it to be a very smooth transition from the song you were listening to before or after, yada yada yada. So I was like doing all that stuff. I really wanted it to be comfortable for the person, not more like right in the middle between happy, like super lit, and then like very cool, calm and collective. So it was really hard to make, but it was fun to listen to. Nice. As an artist, I can tell that you consider other people's experiences when they're listening to your music, but I also feel that on your social media platform too. Like when I was scrolling through your Instagram, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. It gives me a break, a pause. Like your visuals, you're such a storyteller in your music, but you're also a storyteller on IG. Like how do you find that balance, or is that your purpose for creating things? Or?
I feel like with specifically my Instagram, I think I want it to be, like you said, a fresh breath of air, or a commercial. You know how we watch TV and we watch commercial, we're like, all right, I can go get coffee, whatever, and that's how I want the same energy to be, like, just to relax and to feel like you're at home or just chilling, and that's why I have a bunch of videos there of just smooth music, or looking at the beach and stuff, because I want it to be super calm and normal, I guess, in my head, because I want to feel relaxed when I put the content out. So
I wanted to know if you thought, as an artist, if it was like your responsibility to discuss specific issues or social issues.
Oh, of course.
You do feel that way?
I feel like we have music is so powerful to the point where you can change people's lives, like how my life was changed when I was listening to it. So I always think, like, what's the difference? I can change people's perspective. I can teach people, educate people, you know, and I feel like every musician should do it, because even if you don't think you're powerful, you are a force, you are energy. So I always think that with anything, but specifically music, you are so strong and powerful that you can educate the world in a positive way, at least. In a positive way. Because, sure, like, you know, there's people behind us, like generations that are, you know, that are listening to us, they see us, and anything positive is great. That's what I always think of. So music to me is super positive, so I always try to share that with others, especially the younger crowds too, because they're all over the place right now. So my name is Juan, Papito Juan. My Twitter is Papito Juanito, so just another O with Papito. And then my Facebook is just Juan, W-A-N. Spotify is W-A-N, same thing. And all the social media, like music platforms, will be W-A-N and Sugar Milk. If you put that, you would find my name immediately, fast. And I am working on a project now. It's a 11-song project, completely different from Sugar Milk. Super upbeat. It's gonna be early 90s R&B type of vibes. So more vocals instead of synths. So you're gonna be a lot more singing, more personal stuff, and you're gonna feel a lot. I want it to be more upbeat this time.
I am Symone Titania Major, and you can find all of my work at SymoneTitania.com. I want to thank y'all so much for joining us again here at the NDC. Shout out to Context of a Generation for producing the NDC. Thank y'all, and be blessed. The NDC. So that was the NDC. If you like what you saw and you want to be a partner, or if you want to collaborate with us, even if you're an artist and you want to submit your work, check out our website, contextofageneration.org, or go ahead and submit an email to us at submit@contextofageneration.org. And for all the artists, make sure you put your name, your social media handles, and attach some of your work as well. And for those who are interested in being a partner or collaborating, please email us, and we would love to reach back out. Peace. That was the NDC. Thank you.